Jokic in the half court is like Jordan in the finals, goddammit. You're not gonna beat him. You're just not gonna beat the half court. He is God right here. He's picking you apart. He picks you gotta speed the game up so his big ass gotta run back and forth and hopefully he can get tired.
He's not getting tired.
I know he ain't.
To me, he's Magic and Kareem on the floor at the same time.
Yeah.
He's a guard. He makes great decisions, hell of a pass. And then when he wants to be Kareem, he goes down and dominates. So he's a special player that does a lot of things.
Nikola Jokic is quickly climbing the ranks of all-time NBA greats, surpassing legendary players with each milestone he achieves. Every accolade cements his place in NBA history, and his record-breaking statistics are making it impossible to ignore his growing legacy. His ability to carry his franchise to success has only strengthened his case as one of the most dominant players of his era. But how do other NBA legends feel about his rise? Does he truly belong among the game's elite? Jokic has been at the center of many debates about his greatness and value as a superstar. His unconventional style, which blends size, skill, and elite playmaking, has redefined what it means to be a dominant big man. The older generation of NBA stars played in a different era, one that emphasized athleticism and physicality in ways that Jokic does not. So do they respect his innovative approach to the game, or do they view it as a departure from what made past legends great? Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, has finally broken his silence on Nikola Jokic. As Jokic continues to carve out his legacy with dominant performances and historic achievements, Jordan acknowledged the Serbian big man's impact on the game. In a rare statement, Jordan praised Jokic's all-around skill set and court vision, saying, "The way he controls the game is something special. He's already one of the greats, and he's changing how the game is played." With Jordan's endorsement, Jokic's place among basketball's elite is becoming undeniable. Larry Bird, one of the greatest basketball minds in history, is often compared to Jokic. Both players relied on intelligence and skill rather than relying solely on physical attributes. They could break down defenses with their scoring, and more importantly, their visionary passing. While Bird played as a forward and Jokic as a center, their ability to see the game multiple steps ahead sets them apart. Bird, known for his appreciation of high basketball IQ, has spoken highly of Jokic's unique style and dominance. It's clear that even among the NBA's most respected legends, Jokic has earned admiration for the way he has revolutionized the modern game.
I would love to play against him. He's good.
He's good, right?
He's good. There's so many great centers over the history of our game. Man, is he good. I just hope he stays healthy and able to continue to do what he does because he is fun to watch. Probably more so than anybody in the league. It used to be that when the Golden State was healthy, they were really fun to watch. Now I've switched over to Denver.
Shaq has never been shy about critiquing the new generation of NBA big men. He sees himself as a gatekeeper of what he calls the Big Man Alliance, taking pride in holding today's centers to the highest standard. Over the years, Shaq has been notoriously tough on modern bigs, often dismissing their impact compared to past legends. But when it comes to Nikola Jokic, even Shaq has to give credit where it's due. On the Dan Patrick Show, O'Neal openly admitted that Jokic is the best big man of this era, acknowledging his dominance and unique style of play.
When I look at Joker and how he plays, and this is why he's the best big man in the league.
Shaq, he's playing the best of his career. I mean, that's saying a lot.
The Joker is balling. Nothing but respect for him. I don't know if he got mad at me last year, but when I said that I think Shea deserved the MVP, but I actually hope he is mad because I love the way he's playing. Like he shoots a three and all that, but he mixes it up.
As Shaq admitted, he initially downplayed Jokic's dominance after he secured another MVP award. This isn't surprising. Shaq has built a reputation for being tough on modern big men, believing his direct criticism pushes them to improve. But if there's one player who doesn't let outside noise affect him, it's Nikola Jokic. Instead of responding with words, Jokic has only continued to elevate his game, proving his greatness with every performance. For many, Jokic has already surpassed Shaq in all-time rankings, and ironically, Shaq himself highlighted why. Jokic possesses a far more versatile offensive arsenal. Unlike traditional big men, he can stretch the floor with elite three-point shooting, making his offensive game nearly impossible to contain. Shaq pointed out that no other center in NBA history has had this level of dominance from every area of the court. Jokic isn't just great, he's redefining what a dominant big man looks like.
Jokic is the best big man in the game.
The best player in the game.
I apologize, the best player in the game. I like him because as a big man, he's an old school big man and a new school big man. You know, I don't like 7'4" or 5" shooting threes. He has that ability, he goes to it. But when he needs to get in the post,
that's where he starts.
He goes in the post. He makes his guys great. He's going to play his way. Love the way he plays.
What makes Jokic the exception to Shaq's harsh criticisms of modern NBA centers? Unlike many big men who have moved away from traditional post play, Nikola Jokic blends old-school dominance with a modern skill set. As Shaq himself acknowledges, Jokic can overpower defenders in the low post with strength and footwork, much like Shaq did in his prime. However, Jokic also brings a level of versatility never seen before in a center. He can step outside and shoot threes like a shooting guard, act as a playmaking hub in the post like Arvydas Sabonis in the 90s, and orchestrate dribble handoffs and screens at the top of the key like Domantas Sabonis in today's NBA. This unmatched flexibility makes Jokic a player that both old-school and modern fans can appreciate. Shaq's legacy as one of the greatest centers in NBA history was solidified when he was brought to Los Angeles, a move orchestrated by none other than Jerry West, the legendary executive and former player known as the Logo. During that same time, West also took a chance on a young high school prospect named Kobe Bryant, proving once again his unparalleled ability to evaluate talent. Given this track record, when Jerry West speaks on Nikola Jokic, it carries significant weight. West has first-hand experience with the greatest centers in history. He played with Wilt Chamberlain, battled against Bill Russell, coached Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and built the Lakers dynasty around Shaquille O'Neal. He also managed the Showtime Lakers of the 80s, which revolved around Magic Johnson, the NBA's first truly dominant oversized playmaker. Having witnessed every evolution of basketball greatness, West's high praise for Jokic cements his place among the all-time elite.
Jokic is a joke, okay? He's a joke. You watch him play.
Different.
And you look at him, and everyone's talking about, well, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. If you watch him around the basket, he absolutely will shoot the ball, touch it, and catch it on the other side before these guys move.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you how good he is.
With this statement, Jerry West highlights the finer details of Nikola Jokic's game that many casual fans might overlook. West specifically points out Jokic's touch, basketball IQ, and dexterity, traits that allow him to secure rebounds and control the game without relying on sheer athleticism. Instead of leaping high for rebounds, Jokic positions himself strategically, using anticipation and skill to dominate in unconventional ways. Gilbert Arenas, known for his skepticism toward European players, has been a vocal critic of Jokic as well. On his podcast, he continues to echo many of the common arguments against Jokic, refusing to fully embrace the dominance of the Nuggets superstar.
Jokic is probably, statistically, when it comes to overall game, the worst MVP winner. He's the worst MVP winner in the last 40 years. Why you say that? When you're talking about MVP, the guys outside of first and second place, their teams was first and second place. The people who won the MVP, their teams was first and second.
The first flaw in Gilbert Arenas' argument is his misunderstanding of the MVP award criteria. MVP is not strictly about which team finishes with the highest seeding. This is evident today with dominant teams like the Cavaliers and Celtics, whose star players may not necessarily be top-tier MVP candidates because their success is largely due to strong team construction, rather than individual dominance. Meanwhile, the Denver Nuggets lack depth and a well-rounded supporting cast, yet Nikola Jokic elevates them into one of the most competitive teams in NBA history. When he plays, they contend at the highest level. When he sits, they struggle immensely. His ability to enhance the play of everyone around him is precisely why he is one of the most valuable players in the league. Arenas' claim that Jokic is one of the weakest MVPs statistically is simply inaccurate. Jokic consistently puts up staggering numbers and shatters statistical records throughout the regular season. This take only highlights Arenas' lack of attention to Jokic's performances. Shifting to a more credible and respected media presence, Charles Barkley from inside the NBA has a vastly different perspective. As a former dominant big man himself, Barkley is known for his fearless honesty and scorching hot takes. He has openly criticized the Denver Nuggets front office, arguing that their management has failed Jokic. Barkley believes Jokic is a once-in-a-generation talent, and he doesn't hold back in calling out the franchise for not providing him with the necessary help to maximize his championship potential. Having personally experienced the frustration of playing for teams that failed to build a true contender around him, Barkley understands the weight of wasted talent. This is why his passionate critique of the Nuggets' handling of Jokic carries so much weight.
Yeah, they won a championship, but they just let guys go. If you got a guy that great, you got to win some more, because he got another 5 years. When he gets older, his game gonna still be fine, because he's not the most athletic brother in the world. But I'm telling you, you cannot waste this guy's prime. This guy's the best player in the world. Get greedy.
You only hear this type of complaint when discussing an all-time great. The same was said about LeBron James during his first stint with the Cavaliers in the 2000s, or Kevin Garnett on the Timberwolves before that era. Sometimes, poor management can ruin a player's chance at achieving true greatness. NBA legends like Charles Barkley understand how crucial franchise leadership is in shaping a player's legacy. Joakim Noah was one of the great defensive anchors of the 2010s. His years as a premier center in the league were relatively short, but his impact was undeniable. He was the complete opposite of Nikola Jokic, known for his relentless defense but extremely limited in other aspects of the game. Many fans remember Noah for his unorthodox and awkward shooting form, which became infamous in NBA circles. Despite these stark differences, he deeply appreciates Jokic's offensive brilliance. However, as a defensive specialist, Noah also sees what most casual fans miss: Jokic's defense. While critics often target Jokic's defense as his lone weakness, one of the greatest defensive minds in NBA history is here to challenge that perception and highlight how Jokic brings real value on that end of the floor.
It's just, we've never seen that kind of dominance offensively and even defensively for somebody who doesn't look, who's not athletic. You know, for him to be able to guard the way that he does. I see him, during timeouts, telling his teammates where to be. He's always pointing where they need to go. All shots on the Denver Nuggets, when you're looking at their offense, it obviously goes through him, but everything is in rhythm.
Jokic may not fit the traditional mold of an elite defender, but his impact on that end of the floor is undeniable. His high basketball IQ and constant communication with teammates make him an invaluable presence. Combine that with his massive frame, long wingspan, and sheer strength, and you have a defensive X-factor who knows how to position himself effectively and disrupt plays. One of the most dominant defensive forces of the early 2010s, Dwight Howard, actually faced off against Jokic in the 2020 Western Conference Finals while playing for the Lakers. He has spoken about the unique challenge of defending Jokic and what makes him such a difficult matchup.
I love Jokic. Like, the year that I came back to play against Denver and all that stuff, I studied this man so I knew when I played him what I needed to do. It's a mental game. I studied him the whole summer. I watched clips. I watched everything he did. I learned how to do what he was doing. Not so I could do it in the game, but I learned what he was doing, so when he did it, I was able to contain it.
This highlights just how much effort it takes to slow Jokic down. Dwight Howard had to meticulously study every aspect of Jokic's game and engage in psychological warfare just to have a chance at containing him. His skill set demands a level of defensive preparation that few players in NBA history have required. Tracy McGrady, one of the most electrifying scorers of the 2000s, never had the chance to compete on the biggest stage due to a lack of the right supporting cast. Recently, he expressed how much he wishes he could have played alongside Nikola Jokic, praising Jokic's rare ability to elevate everyone around him. Imagine what this duo could have accomplished together.
I would love to play with him. He's a problem. He's a problem. Like he's like Jason Kidd as a point guard. Like those guys don't have to score to affect the game.
But he also scores.
But he can score. He shoots a three. What can't he do? He can't jump. Yeah, he can't jump. He can't jump. And you see how big he is? There's no muscle definition on him, and he's just wearing you down, and he's strong. I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. I don't even know what other words to say. I love him.
Tracy McGrady couldn't stop praising Jokic, repeatedly emphasizing how much he admires his game. While he made a few remarks about Jokic's athleticism that might seem like backhanded compliments, his enthusiasm and appreciation for Jokic's skill set sounded completely genuine. When Rasheed Wallace was asked about Jokic's place among the all-time great centers, his response was interesting. He was hesitant to rank Jokic at that level just yet, which is a fair argument to make. However, some of the points he made to justify his stance raised a few eyebrows.
The longevity would tell you if you're going to be good or not. Right. So I think it's still too early to tell for Joker.
For sure.
He's a good player, don't get me wrong. You know, he's kicking ass. But,
Yeah.
You know, it's still a little too early to tell or put him, to me, in that category with those centers you said, because shit, let me see. Shaq got what, 4? Dream got 2, and David Robinson got 2. So
it doesn't make sense to claim that Nikola Jokic isn't on David Robinson's level just because of championship rings. Robinson was well past his prime during his 2 finals appearances, and by the time of his second title, he played more of a supporting role. Placing him above Jokic solely because of rings ignores the full context of their careers. Billups, now the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, had a long and decorated NBA career, recognized for his high basketball IQ. He was the floor general for some of the best teams of the 2000s, most notably the 2004 Detroit Pistons, where he earned Finals MVP honors. As one of the premier point-of-attack defenders of his era, Billups was assigned to guard some of the greatest playmakers in NBA history, including Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Jason Williams, and Andre Miller. He also faced LeBron James in high-stakes playoff battles, requiring him to strategize against one of the best playmakers of all time. Given this extensive experience, it's astonishing to hear Billups declare that Nikola Jokic is the best passer he has ever seen.
He's the best passer I've ever seen, excluding no position. He's the best I've ever seen in passing. It's funny, like when I was young in the league, and I can remember like Arvydas Sabonis was over here, and he was older. And I'm just seeing him doing these passes, and he makes threes, and I used to always be like, dang, I wonder what he looked like when he was young. And I imagine that is similar.
Kevin is widely regarded as one of the greatest defenders in NBA history. Renowned for his relentless intensity and fierce competitive spirit, he was an imposing force who refused to be dominated by any opposing big man. When discussing Nikola Jokic's impact on today's game, Kevin acknowledges how the modern era of basketball has evolved, with centers now being more skilled and versatile than ever. He admires Jokic's ability to blend old-school fundamentals with modern playmaking, proving that dominance in the paint can still exist alongside perimeter skills and high IQ decision-making.
Let me say something to the basketball world. Man, when you're in the post and you get 11 dribbles, man, if you get 11 dribbles in the league, man, that's like unheard of. Joker's getting 7, 8, 9, reject, spinning, half spinning, coming out the spin, pump fake. Man, come on, man. Where the guards at?
Listen.
Where the guards at, bro? Come on, man. You can't stop no nigga like that.
This is what's happening. You know why he getting 11 dribbles?
Because everybody's
so scared.
Yeah.
Because he picking them apart.
Paul Pierce is absolutely right. It's always easier said than done. Jokic dominates one-on-one matchups with ease, and if you try to send help, he'll punish you even more. His passing ability makes double-teaming a dangerous gamble, forcing defenses into impossible choices. Pierce has his own takes on Jokic, and he doesn't hold back. The Joker is bullying the entire league, making even elite defenders look helpless. No matter how skilled or physical his opponents are, Jokic continues to dismantle them with his unique blend of size, skill, and basketball IQ.
He is shredding the four-time defensive player of the year and the #1 defensive. He's making them look like kids. I've never seen nothing like this versus like is this the #1 defense in the league?
Yeah, it was for most of the year. Yes,
No,
sir.
I'll say this
like,
though.
This is wild.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is widely regarded as one of the greatest centers of all time. His dominance in the paint, combined with his signature skyhook, made him one of the most unstoppable forces in NBA history. Today, Nikola Jokic is proving that he possesses a similar ability to make difficult shots near the basket with incredible touch and finesse. However, Kareem highlights what truly sets Jokic apart: his elite playmaking ability. Abdul-Jabbar acknowledges that while he was a dominant scorer, Jokic's ability to elevate his teammates and orchestrate the offense makes him even more unique.
It's nice the way he moves the ball around when he doesn't have good opportunities. He finds the open man and hits him. I think it's a great setup the way they have the team because they got guys on the outside that can really hit it.
Nikola's place among NBA legends is becoming undeniable, as some of the game's greatest icons acknowledge his rare skill set and remarkable impact. His dominance on offense, combining elite post moves, shooting, and next-level playmaking, sets him apart in ways few big men ever have. Even his defense, often overlooked, proves invaluable when paired with his basketball IQ and ability to read the game. More importantly, Jokic's ability to elevate those around him cements his status as a true all-time great. As his career progresses, his legacy will only grow, forever shaping the future of basketball.